Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I provide online valuation services for mediation and litigation based in St. Louis, Missouri. Today, we'll be discussing business valuations when the future is unknown and the past is not reliable with my special guests, Josh Shilts and Stephanie Swetland. Josh's practice focuses on complex financial matters and disputes. He frequently lectures on forensic accounting matters and has been involved in hundreds of investigations involving personal and business disputes. He also has provided expert testimony in commercial and family matters around valuation, economic damages, and fraud. He's been qualified as an expert and testified in state and federal courts. Stephanie Swetland is also a licensed enrolled agent and is a QuickBooks Pro advisor for both online and desktop. She is continuing her education in accounting and plans to obtain her CPA license within the next couple years. They are both forensic valuation experts and offer tax advice in the state of Florida. Tell me, how has business valuation work kind of changed for your firm during this pandemic economy?
Sure. I think first we do I would say 95% of the valuation work we're doing is in some form of a litigation setting, whether it's family law, commercial dispute, even criminal in very few matters. And this is a question that's just continuing to come up, right? Because you and I love what you coined it by the pandemic economy. But as we're going through this phase of COVID-19, people are still getting divorced, businesses are still breaking up, businesses are still being sold. What's the value? And you're right, it's a point in time. You have to go back to the basics. And it's amazing to me when I start asking attorneys what valuation date we want to use. And they look at me and so there's a lot of educating to attorneys, to clients about valuation date. What does it really mean? As far as how our work has changed, there is a lot of true up valuations. And what does that mean? So, for example, if there was a valuation that was December of 2019, but we don't get to a hearing or a mediation setting until June of 2020, we are looking at the books and records and understanding what passive or active forces may have impacted this business, right? So depending on the litigation setting, we could have an example, husband owns a business had a value of $1 million. They go into the pandemic, this business was a tour operator for the cruise line. So they've been shut down. Is that the husband or the wife, whoever owns the business, dissipating or actively forcing the business not to do something versus what is the market? If it's a market impact, those are things that we're really starting to research and understand. And it's not just looking at comparable companies, because a lot of that data is old. It's really looking at the local geography and the specific industry and how they've been impacted. So I say for the most part, we're doing our regular valuation work, and now we're doing more economic analysis and research to provide facts, evidence as to what has happened to the business and why right? It's answering those two questions. What has happened to the business financially, and why did it happen? Was it just because the cruise line stopped sailing, they didn't need us to provide any more tours? Or was it somebody saw an opportunity to sit on the sidelines, so they decided to rescind a contract? Or they decided that, there's COVID, everyone's doing layoffs, let me lay people off right now and drive down the value of the business. So there's a lot of forensic accounting and investigative accounting that's slapped next to a valuation at this point. I'm seeing a lot of people that are just putting out valuations, where I think our work is different than others, is that we're applying some forensic accounting techniques in investigation and research to either support or disprove a claim on valuation.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that we continue to focus on research support and market support, especially during these times, because as you say, we look back to history, but we can't really rely on history because everything is so uncertain right now. Like we say, the past is not reliable. Well, the future, how can we predict the future when we're in such a volatile time? So I think that it's imperative that we continue and that other industry folks also continue to support valuations and their dates with market research to, like Josh said, either support or disprove